everybody, welcome to this episode of Better Car Washing Everywhere. We are live from the Arcadian Services booth at the Car Wash Show 2026 in Nashville. This is going to be a fun conversation for me because I've been on a soapbox for a long time about the opportunity that exists in this industry outside of traditional tunnels, which is funny to say traditional tunnels because it wasn't that long ago that there weren't that many of them. Then there were lots of them. That's a different podcast for a different time. I'm excited to welcome Aubrey Nichols and Taylor Turner to the show. Welcome to the program.
Thanks
for having us. So I'm really pumped about this because I don't talk to enough IBA operators and I don't talk to enough people who have mixed models. So I'm ready to dive in. Are you guys ready?
Sure. I'm ready, yeah.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so Aubrey, let's kind of start at the beginning. We're going to back up a little bit and just talk about how you ended up here. Not in Nashville, but just in car washing.
In car washing.
Yeah.
So I was in college to be a teacher, and I was waitressing as a part-time job. The owners of the wash was building a new wash in that city, and they kept coming into the restaurant I was waitressing at. And one day they were like, "How would you like to run a car wash?" And I was like, "That's odd. I'm not entirely sure." I did it, and it was the best decision. I couldn't imagine doing anything else now.
And that was 3 years ago?
4 years.
4 years ago now.
Yep,
okay,
4
awesome.
years.
Awesome. You are still here.
I am. I am still here.
You are likely here forever. I'm just going to warn you.
I am. I agree.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sucks
Good.
you in.
Yeah. You can't get out of it. You can't get out of it. How about you, Taylor? How'd you get here?
So my father started our business in 1995. So I've been in car washing my whole life. Started in car washing. I was washing bays down when I was 5 years old. My grandfather actually took care. He was like the general proprietor of our first store after he retired. So he'd take me up there with him when I was a kid. We'd go spend the day at the car wash, washing bays down, and talking to customers. They're going through the automatics and whatever, right? And so just been doing it my whole life. When I was 10, on big salt days, right? Dad would take me to one store, my older brother to another store, and just leave us there all day, right? Or 12, I might have been 12, don't let my mom see that. And we'd just keep the place clean, help people get through the line. Because what it is on salt days, you got all these customers that aren't your regulars.
Yeah.
They need a little extra attention. So it's, and so I just been doing, I went off to college, so did my brother, we both came back, started working with our father in 2016, so I've been working full-time in the industry for about 10 years.
So what's really interesting to me is that we've got someone who's pretty new, 4 years in, and somebody who's been doing it as long as you can remember, literally.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about kind of where you're at in your journey today, and as you've been in it, what kind of keeps you still excited? And then I'll have a different question for you.
Okay.
What's really interesting, I was actually talking about this with Trevor's my brother last night, and I'm more passionate about washing cars now than I've ever been. And I don't know, there was some hump I went over where I guess it was more of there was a time there when it was like a lot of a grind to kind of get up to speed. I'm learning how to better manage our teams. I'm learning more about maintenance and chemistry and you name it, right? Kind of all at once. And now our systems are better, our people are better, and our chemicals are a lot better. And so we're able to put out really clean cars, and there's nothing that makes me happier than watching cars come out. I'll sit there all day long and watch cars come out. And I don't have to worry about, when I'm in my IBA town, so I got my touchless machines, used to, before I found some chemicals that works a little better for me, I'd be worried people are going to pull around here, have comments, "Oh, I'll run you back through, touch free can only do so good." And none of that in the last 5 years. So that's completely went away, and it's made all of our lives a lot better.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to come back to that because I think there's a really important point in that.
Oh, sure.
So, different question for you though.
Okay.
He's been in it a long time. He still somehow is really passionate about it. He's getting excited every day. You're still new. You've got like that new car shine, new car smell kind of going on.
Yep.
Talk to me about kind of what every day is like for you and what keeps you excited.
What we do matters. That's what keeps me excited. Our chemistry has to be right. That matters. If it's not, customers notice. Our culture has to be right. It matters. If it's not, customers notice. I love working with the public. I love talking to people. I love making people happy and smile. And like he was saying, when a car comes out clean, like it just makes my day. I watch cars come out of the wash as well. I love watching them come out knowing they're happy. They're going to come back. I know they're going to come back. Their cars look great. We did a great job. we welcome them. So I think that what we do matters, and that matters to me, and that's what keeps me excited about it.
Yeah, that's really great. I'm curious, are you guys check the box people? Like, are you like to have a list of things and you need to check
I do
off?
have lists. I work off lists.
For
Just
me,
you in
not
general.
for me, I don't.
Okay.
Yep,
I was just
I'm very much a list person.
I'm low down on the totem pole as far as our technicians now, but it's not uncommon for once a week me to have to drop what I was planning on doing that day and go address a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm not the best about planning my weeks out. I wish I was better. I've got 3 kids under 5.
You've stopped planning a long time ago. I'm just curious because to hear you talk about the process of watching the cars, there's something in that is like innate, right? It's like seeing that finished product or seeing something to creation. Like it's almost like you created it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of maker syndrome in there. I think that's cool. I want to come back to something that you were talking about, Taylor, that came out when you were talking about really this idea of making excuses. Right. And I think that there is tremendous opportunity in touch-free right now. IBA automatics are a little bit lower, a lot lower cost of entry if you're trying to get into this business. But I think we have to stop making excuses, and one of the things to do that is to get a better product and have better results. But talk about kind of the transformation for you and you as well in terms of how you make that jump and how do you stop apologizing to a customer and thinking of your product as inferior when it's really not.
Well, I think the main, for me, and that's how my customers do, it's not a secret, is I think that people are stepping over dollars to pick up dimes constantly in the IBA business. They're worried, they're getting their little titration kit out, and they're putting their little beakers out, and they're making sure they're using the exact right amount of mils, never too much. I think that's unnecessary. I mean, if it costs you an extra 25 cents to wash a car, but you don't have complaints and you're consistently putting out a great clean car, and you can, especially if you can go a little faster, maybe it costs you 50 cents more, but you can take 30 seconds or 45 seconds off your wash, so then even if a tunnel comes down the street or whatever's in your neighborhood, you have the ability to churn cars quickly, through your IBAs, and you're open 24 hours. There's a ton of opportunity in that. But it all comes back to not being scared to put a lot of extra chemical in the car if need be, especially if it can speed you up.
Interesting.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with him 100%. I actually made some notes before this, and almost word for word, I said, of course, cost per car is important. Operators do need to know what their cost per car is.
Within reason.
However, customer experience. If they do not have a good experience, that's going to cost you more in the long run because they're not going to come back. You're going to lose money. So why be so focused on cost per car versus keeping customers happy? Now there is, there's a happy middle line there, and I think that we succeed in that middle line.
Yeah, you don't want to be pouring money down the drain, literally.
Correct.
Literally, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think one of the things, if you're living in IBA land, I think you have to remember that you are competing with the tunnel down the street.
Yeah.
Like that is competition, and so you have to think about that experience that someone gets when they go through one of those washes.
Yes.
And think about, how do I match up with that?
You have to set yourself apart.
Yeah.
You have to.
And so what are some ways that you're setting yourself apart?
Customer service, for one. I pride myself on that. They get an amazing conversation every time they come in. We give out dog treats. Like, people bring their dogs specifically just because we're going to give them treats, and then they get a wash. We definitely set ourselves apart with customer service. Also, consistency in a clean car. Our customers know the chemistry we use. They're going to come get their car washed. They're going to leave, and their car's going to be clean. It's going to smell good. They don't have to worry that it's not going to be consistent.
Yeah, that's a big piece.
Yes.
I think there is some inherent separation between a conveyorized system and especially a touch-free IBA. Like a brush IBA the same way. We use a lot of washable profiles, but specifically on the spot, the touch-free. So you have two things that I think are the big differentiators. One, there's a lot of people in this world that don't work a traditional schedule, that are they're not leaving work at 5, able to swing through the wash between 4 and 7 on their way home. There's second and third shift workers. There's nurses, doctors, overnight, whatever. So we have a 12-hour window every day to capture the whole market, not just our part, right? And then you also have, I don't care what anybody says, there's a small percentage of people, it might be larger than I know, I'm not sure how big it is, that have no interest in going through a conveyor, touch-free conveyor or regular conveyor. And there's also a sect of people that don't want to brush or touch their car.
Yep.
There's people that don't like to, I mean, you know how people, sometimes you see people trying to pull on the conveyor and they're white-knuckled, right?
Yeah.
Some people don't like conveyors, some people don't want brushes. So you take both of those groups. It's not a, it's bigger than nothing. There's several people that want an MBA experience.
Yeah, I think there's also that whole population of people who grew up in an era when friction was a little bit rougher, right? The brushes weren't made out of the nice material that they're made out today.
Yeah.
They were really whipping and slapping. Yeah. So there's a whole thing there. But yeah, that does create a whole different demographic, a whole different market
Yes.
that a traditional tunnel just isn't going to ever serve, because you're not going to get over that hump for that customer.
Yeah.
They've got it. It's seated. It's deep seated. They're not going to take that chance.
And there's a hurry involved in conveyor sites.
Yes.
You get some kid up there, he's 18 years old, and he's get up here, ready to get the next car sent.
Makes you nervous.
And there's a lot of folks,
As a consumer.
especially older folks, that don't care for that one bit, and younger folks.
Yeah.
But it's like, and there's a car they try to send them 8 feet apart.
Yep.
Got a car 8 feet behind you, a car 8 feet in front of you. You can't see anything. It's like, not the tunnel washing's not great too. It's just there's a group for both.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah. There's plenty of space in this market. There are plenty of people that will choose one over the other every single time. It's funny you talk about getting the cars too close. I was going in to my local wash the other day, and I was coming in hot. I'm like, man, I know this is how this works. Let's go. I come up on the conveyor, and my oldest daughter is sitting next to me. She's like, Dad, what are you doing? Slow down. I'm like, it's fine. They want me close. We're going. And finally, she's like, hands over eyes, like it wouldn't look. I'm like, what are you doing? I've done this so many times. It was fine. We didn't hit the car in front of us. We put it in neutral.
But it can be a little scary.
It was scary.
It can be a little scary, yes.
If you don't do it all the time,
Yes.
if you're not always loading
Yes.
cars, it's very scary. It can be very scary. That's funny. Well, I want to talk a little bit about, we talked about some of the opportunity that exists within kind of an in-bay and a touch-free model. I want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you run into. Like what's hard about this particular model? And
I
maybe
think
you can
obviously
start.
the biggest challenge is there's no friction.
Yeah.
Chemistry is important. Like you can't.
Maybe the most important.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you can't just use your equipment to solve that problem, because it's touchless. There's nothing touching the vehicle. So chemistry, consistency is very, very important. So I would say the biggest challenge is friction. There's no friction. However, our chemistry has solved for that problem. So it makes it a lot easier.
Yes.
Yes.
At least you have one thing you can rely on. You can't rely on the customer.
It
but
really makes it a lot easier. If you can put out a clean car, a shiny car, a dry car, then you're golden.
You're in good shape.
Yeah.
You're in good shape.
Yep.
How about you, Taylor? What are some challenges you run into?
As far as in-bay washing, we run a fair amount of sites unattended for large portions of the day, so it's totally customer. We clean great. Our chemical Mercadian is primed. We titrate regularly. We make sure everything's working well. We put out a beautiful, clean, shiny dry car. I think the biggest problem is customer.
You can't control them.
Yeah, you can't control
You're not
them.
there.
Like there's nothing. Like it's a free. There's no guide. There's no. So and that usually goes away after we've been in the market a while. So you have that first couple of years where you're basically educating your customer, and once everybody's on the same page, it gets real smooth. But there's always that hurdle.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love the in-bay business. I don't find it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
A lot.
I don't find it particularly like.
I really love it.
Yeah, it's a great business. So,
It really is, and we are attended, so I don't have that exact same problem. But we're open 24/7, so we're attended 12 hours of the day, and then unattended 12 hours of the day.
Okay.
So I definitely understand what you're saying. Sometimes I get calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. A customer can't figure out the pay station, or problems that we don't have when we're there.
Okay, so that wasn't on the job description probably when they said, hey, do you want to come work at a car wash?
It was not on the job description. I don't necessarily know that my owners would care if I didn't answer the phone at 3 in the morning, but it's important to me because now that customer, when they need a car wash, they're going to come back to me because I answered my phone at 3 o'clock in the morning and helped them.
Well, they're educated on how to use the machine too. That's the main thing.
And I talk them through it, and I think that that's important.
So we have to talk about chemistry because we just identified that as like one of the most important pieces.
Yes.
You are both Arcadian customers.
Correct.
Yes.
Talk to me just about kind of how you came to be an Arcadian customer and what that experience has been like for you. And maybe we'll start with Taylor on the end.
So we've been with Arcadian right before COVID, so I guess it's 6 years-ish. We were having a little trouble. Actually, that's back when Max Norton was still here and he knew Dad through his channels, and he called Dad, but 6 months later called Dad again. You know, everybody gets busy and forgets, and so let's let me send some up there and just try it out. And about that time, we were having a fair amount of trouble with our current rep, or what we were selling at the time, and he's like, okay, let's try it out. So I met Max and put it all online, and I couldn't believe the difference. It was a little bit less chemical, and the cars were significantly cleaner, and it wasn't as harsh. It wasn't eating my equipment. So like injectors and solenoids use some of these harsher chemicals, they'll eat those things up. You'll be leaking. We used to use a product about 8 years ago. We were changing injectors on it like twice a year. I mean, you'd go to site, it'd just be running down it, right? And so you take all that really caustic stuff out of the equation, you clean them better, and then so we did that site, and then he said, well, let me try another. So then they came and we did a full setup on one of my better stores. They spent 2 or 3 days with me. We did it all. We had the little tester on to see how much wax we were actually sticking to the car, and they were circling the spots, and people were looking at us like we were crazy. And,
maybe a little bit.
Yeah, and then really, at this point, Dad and I, neither one of us have ever met Kip. So then we kind of keep. So now we're buying from both sides. We're buying two, for a while there because we just, you don't know until what you know, right? And then we met Kip. Wonderful. I could tell he's extremely intelligent, extremely smart, passionate about chemistry, and then we just made the full transition. So ever since then, we've been using it. I've picked up a lot of customers by you because of how much better the chemical is. It's an easy sell, especially C3. Getting in the door C3 is phenomenal. So it's just a wonderful experience. I love working with a company kind of local to me. They're in Alabama or Kentucky. I feel like we have a lot of the same values. So it's just been a really good experience.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, having a good relationship with the company that provides your most important piece of equipment is a pretty big deal, right?
Yes.
Talk about your relationship.
So we've been using Arcadian since I came into the business.
Since you were blessed to be among us.
Yes, since I was blessed to be among you.
Welcome to the show.
I think so obviously when I first came into car washing, I knew nothing about car washing, not a single thing. Maybe had went to 5 car washes in my life. Like it was just never, it just wasn't me. But I have learned so much from the guys at Arcadian. I feel like the relationship is not transactional. Anybody can sell soap. Arcadian is completely different. They understand operations. They understand problems. They're there to help you. I text these guys. I call them. I'm like, hey, I want to make my wash smell better. And, David's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, let's get you something. We're going to do that. Or Reclaim Defender, for example. We had an issue with our Reclaim unit smelling. And Arcadian solved for that. And I feel that it's so important that it's not just transactional. It's not just, we're going to sell you soap and then we're done with you. That's it. You just place your order. It's not like that at all.
So why does that matter when you think about kind of your day-to-day operations? Why does it matter to have that?
So I wouldn't have learned anything if we had a chemical supplier that it was just transactional. They teach me a lot. They teach me about, dilution ratio, dwell time, why dwell time is important, low pH versus high pH pre-soaks, why that's important. If you have a chemical rep that just sells you soap and then that's it, you're not going to learn all of those things. You're not going to learn why are you selling me this product? Why is this product important? How is this product going to help my customers? And Arcadian, they tell me all of that.
Taylor, as you kind of look at customers as they come in, obviously you can tell when you're putting out a better car, or when it's doing what it's supposed to do and everything's running on point. Do customers notice? Do you find customers can actually tell?
Obviously on the clean, right? Your windshield's clean or it's dirty. You have the eyebrow or you don't, right? I've noticed a lot more the last couple years, because I feel like we've really got our waxes dialed in the last 2 years, that they're noticing a shinier car. And I'll tell you what the main difference is. I haven't changed anything else. To say everything else is a known variable. I'm not seeing nearly as many people out of their cars dry enough, because the cars are dry enough. They're not, we're not trying to get to 100. We're trying to get to 95 or 92. Or on 1,500 pluses, we're trying to get to 85. But we're not, I used to see people with blowers. They bring their own lawn blowers from home, leaf blowers, and they'd be out there, and you just don't see that anymore. And it's kind of funny. We have a few self-serve sites that have the hand blowers. They're just not using them as much. So that would be a big difference, is that our cars are much drier and they're shinier. But yeah.
Well, that takes a big piece out of it for people, right? Because no matter what kind of car wash you're running, dry is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Like you're putting a lot of wet things on this vehicle, and that's got a lot of nooks and crannies. It's just not going to get dry.
It's got to fall off there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about what you're maybe watching in this space, and I'll start with you, Taylor.
I'm sorry.
What are you watching in this space? Like, as you think about what the future of in-bays looks like specifically, and what you kind of need to watch out for or do.
Honestly, like I was saying earlier, the in-bay business, I don't know how much if it's a growth sector, how much it'll grow, but I think it's an extremely solid business. And I actually think with automation coming, it fits the mold better, because these self-driving cars, they'll be able to go wash in the middle of the night at a lower rate or whatever, however you set it up. And I think I don't know. I mean, Elon and all these guys are really smart. I think they'll be able to pull into an automatic bay. It can read their license plate and can pull into the automatic bay and just listen to and stop when it's supposed to stop, versus having to try to load itself on a conveyor overnight. I think that's a really interesting possibility in the next 10 years, especially for touch-free.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think everything's running really smoothly in the in-bay space. I'm really happy with it. I hope they continue to improve the machines. We can always clean a little better. I never want to stop trying to clean better. I like to be able to clean faster, as you know. The faster the better. To a point where customers feel like they're getting a good value. Whatever that number is, that's what I want to be on, right on that number. So if it's 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 4 minutes, whatever that number is, that's where I want to be. So.
What about you, Aubrey? You don't have quite the tenure, but I know that you are passionate about this industry, and I know that you are probably watching out for some things.
I feel the same way. I feel similar. I think that there's a huge opportunity with IBAs. I think that sometimes it just makes more sense for an IBA, especially in smaller markets, which is where mine is. It is in a smaller market. I don't have any issues with it. I'm with him. I want a faster wash, but I want customers to still feel like they're getting value for what they're paying. Chemistry is important, and that also, with a faster wash, we still want to put out the same great product. So I want a faster wash, I want a clean, shiny, dry car, and I want my customers to be happy.
Yeah, it's the same model, right? You just want to create a valuable experience that's going to make people come back time and time again.
Yes.
Yeah. I think what's really interesting with all of this is that as you look at real estate, right, these smaller properties start to make a lot more sense, because everybody I talk to is trying to get into the industry. Their biggest hurdle is, well, I can't find property, or it's too expensive.
Yeah, you need an acre and a half or whatever to build a mega tunnel, and that's a big purchase in the city.
And most folks who are in an entrepreneurial state of their life probably don't have that much capital just sitting. Right, like they got to go figure out how to get the money, and it's much more complicated. It's much more risky. Whereas if you can get a smaller footprint, it feels a little bit more manageable, and boom, now you're in the business. Yeah, I love it. My favorite question, and this will be my last question, so then I'll let you guys off the hook.
It's over already. We're just gonna start.
Yeah. Well, we got to get into all the other topics. But I want to know, what's one thing that we can do today that's going to make us better tomorrow? And this can be car washing, this can be life advice, this can be just about anything. So I'm going to ramble for just a minute while you guys think about it, because I didn't give you this one. That's all right. So one thing that we can do today that's going to make us better tomorrow. Who wants to go first? Make your bed, everybody. Make your bed.
Anything?
Anything.
I think everybody should go to church on Sunday, learn about Jesus, how he saved me, and he can save you too.
Perfect. All right, you're up.
Yeah, that's hard to follow.
You have to go something totally different.
I'm very big on just making people smile, being a kind human being, regardless if that's in the car wash industry, my personal life, just walking around the show, just talking to people. I think that you can make somebody's day so much better and so much different if you just are kind and you smile and you have a conversation, and just being a kind human, no matter what, just being a kind human. I think that will make a difference.
I think that's a really good one, because that is one that is very easy for us to forget.
Yes.
Right? We get frustrated in our day-to-day life. We're like, why did you do that
Yes.
way? What's going on? It's like, well, wait a minute. What if I'm just nice?
Yep.
Like, what if I'm just nice?
No matter what, my team members, if they do something wrong, I never raise my voice. I never yell at them.
Your boys?
Voice. I never raise my voice. I don't yell at them. I treat them with respect, always. I think that the reason I don't have turnover is because of reasons like that. I'm kind. They're adults. I treat them like adults. There's no, I think that's just so important. And the back in kindergarten thing, like you treat others how you want to be treated, I think that we grow up and we don't do that anymore. And I think we need to continue to do that.
We need like a kindergarten 2.0.
We do, yeah, we do.
As far as car wash too, I think one area that IBAs could do a lot better job. I don't think we do I feel like I do. I'm not doing my horn or anything. I try to do, and I wish the whole industry. I think there could definitely be a little improvement on keeping our facilities spotless. If you go through a lot of IBAs, they don't do a great job. Like, I want the concrete clear. I want to see white concrete.
Yep.
I don't want to see dirt. I don't want to see algae. I don't want to see black or green. And it's one of those things, well, we'll get it this evening when we close, or we'll get it in the morning. It's like a once-a-day thing. But that's not really enough at a pretty good store. I mean, if you're getting up over 50, 60, 70, 80 cars a day, that needs to be cleaned out at least 2 or 3 times a day.
Yep.
And it's simple. Even with Arcadian Chemistry, if they don't see your facility as clean, they're not going to assume you know how to clean. If you don't know how to clean, they're going to assume their car's not perfectly clean. That's when they're going to get out and inspect it, right? And we're looking for 95% clean, just like we're looking for 95% dry. So they'll find that 5%, and it all could have been avoided if you just kept your facility in good shape.
I 1,000% agree with you. Customer experience, like we were talking about earlier, if a customer pulls into an IBA and your bay is dirty, there's leaves or hay or trash,
and you know
a
how
monster
that dirt lines
can.
up on the sides right here? If you're not careful?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the difference in a good operator and a bad
I think
operator.
that
Immediately. If I see that stacked
you are
dirt
absolutely
on the
right.
sides, yeah.
Yep. The owner of my wash has told me before that I'm OCD about my bays, and I am, because that's the first thing that customer sees.
It's your first
and
impression.
you are exactly right. If they see a dirty bay with trash in it, why are they going to think I'm going to clean their car?
Yeah.
We don't need that cleaning.
They're not. Yeah.
How could you possibly clean the second biggest investment that I will own?
Or primary.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
primary.
even-
Yeah, right. From Oakville,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah,
even
yeah.
clean your own facility. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely important. And I have went to unattended IBA sites, and there is trash in the bays. There's dirt on the walls. They obviously aren't using C3. Concrete, filthy, and it just turns you off from it. You just don't want to go.
It'll just run the experience.
Yeah,
and
it ruins it completely.
That's a pretty easy one. One thing that you can do to be better tomorrow is clean up your mess.
Yes.
Clean up your mess. That's the best one.
stay ahead of it.
Yeah. Well, Taylor and Aubrey, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks
I
for
really
having
appreciate
You're
you
very
guys taking the
welcome.
time.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, wherever you are consuming this content, make sure that you like and subscribe and do all of those things so that you never miss an episode. We've got more episodes coming up today, along with 1 or maybe 2 demos for you. So tune back in as you can. We're coming up back at 2:15, so we will see you shortly.